Welcome back. In this video we're going to be creating a flying enemy that patrols across the screen and swoops down a couple times towards the player if they get too close. This will add a little bit of danger in some of these more open spaces that we just added in by putting in the moving platforms in the last video. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to kind of look at this level, right? I finally went ahead and finished it out. I kept the platform right across the lava like we had, but I added these 3 moving platforms. Maybe as a bonus video I'll add some that do like the little Mega Man thing where they disappear after a certain amount of time. But the player's going to have to move across these platforms, jumping, dodging enemies, and then enter the boss arena here. So what boss do you want to see me fight? There's 3 options. It's going to be a dragon, a lizard, or what was the third one? Hold on, let me go back. I'm drawing a blank. A dragon, a lizard, or a snake. Alright, so whichever one of those you want to see the character fight, go ahead and drop that in the comments below, and let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our enemy character. So let's go ahead and create an empty game object. And we're going to name this flying enemy, because that's what he's going to do. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to add a rigid body. We're going to just get this one set up. Rigid body 2D. We're going to make it kinematic. We're going to freeze the rotation and make sure interpolate is selected. We're going to choose a circular collider 2D and add that. It'll be about a radius of 1. We're going to have another one that is a radius of 1.5. And boom. Alright, so the rigid body, right? This is going to help us interact with movement, with the physics-based collision triggers, while the enemy is moved via code. And also, we don't have to worry about the gravity aspect. You could probably use dynamic, just make sure you set your gravity to 0, but kinematic is just easier for in this case. The first circle body is going to be used for the as part of the detection radius, and then the second one right here is going to be for hitting and hurting the player. All right, next thing we're going to go ahead and do is add our bat enemy. I chose a bat. I really like the Castlevania games. I like the Mega Man games. I like a lot of games, but I'm old. I like the retro stuff. Let's go ahead. So if you like retro stuff, give me a thumbs up and smash that like button. All right. So with this bat, you can see that he's facing the wrong way initially. So we're going to go ahead and on this scale X, we're just going to type in -1, and that flips him the right direction. The next thing we're going to do is something I forgot to do. We need to set our transform to 0 on all axes, which means I need to now adjust the bat to make it 0 on all axes. There we go. Alright, now that all that's set up, what we're going to do is move the project panel up here to the top. That exposes the animation panel. We're going to go ahead and create an animation on our bat character. And let's go to assets, animations, just like we did with the ant. We're going to go ahead and make a folder. We're going to call this bat. Inside of here, it's just going to be one animation. It's going to be called fly. In this, if you're using the Sunnyland collection pack, there is a hanging animation you could use if you wanted to have them just kind of sitting there until the player's in range, then start flying. And then when he's in a certain range from there, once he starts flying, you could have him swoop down. Make that a little challenge. If you can knock that out, go ahead and send me a screenshot to the email adaptedlab@gmail.com. I'd love to see it. All right, so let's see what else. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by dropping in the initial one right there. We're going to drop in this one over here on 8, this one on 16, and then bring this one, number 1, back down here to 24. And when we play it, you can see he's flying. You can see even though these are facing right and we place them in while it's facing right, since he's facing left, all the animations are facing left. It's because we switched this X scale right here. All right. So now that we know that that's working, what else do we need to do? I guess we should go ahead and let's go to our hierarchy. The bat is already showing, but if you have issues where he doesn't, make sure that you change your sorting layer to enemy, and then let's see, for our flying enemy we need to change the tag to enemy. Where is it? There it is. All right, now let's go ahead and start creating a script. I'm going to bring my project panel back down here so it's easier for me to mess with. We're going to go down to our scripts, right click, create mono behavior. This enemy flies, so I'm going to call it flying enemy. Actually, maybe swooping enemy, just in case I have different flying enemies later on as I'm building this. So we'll call it swooping enemy. And I'm going to go ahead and attach it right now to the flying enemy game object. Okay, and let's go ahead and open that up in Visual Studio. So what we're going to start doing is adding in some of the variables, right? The variables that I'm going to add are, it's going to be a bunch of floats for the beginning. So public float move speed, that's going to be equal to 3 frames. Public float swoop height, public float swoop duration. Apparently I can't type today. And public float detection radius equals 5f. There we go. Alright, next are going to be some private variables. The first one's going to be the transform, where we're going to be looking for the player. Alright, we're going to have a private bool to determine whether the enemy is swooping or not. And by default, it's going to be set to false. We're going to have a couple of vector 3s. It's going to be the starting swoop position and the swoop target, and private float swoop timer is going to be equal to 0. Alright, now let's see here. In our start function, we're going to go ahead and tell it what the player is. Game object dot find object by type. I think we can do. No. Let's see. Find game object with tag player. And then it's going to check for it and make that equal to the transform. Alright, so we're going to say if the player is not equal to null, or is equal to null, sorry, we're going to send a warning and say, hey, can't find the player. So flying enemy could not find player. Exclamation point, because it'll be super serious. Alright. Now, in the update, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say if this is swooping. Alright. So I'm gonna finish typing. I will explain some of it towards the end. We're already at 10 minutes and I'm still barely typing. So give me just a minute. Let's go ahead. I'm not going to speed this up because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm typing and not have to pause every 2 seconds. So let's see. So real quick, I know that swoop movement function is red and it's throwing an error. That's because we haven't actually created it yet. I will get to creating it here shortly. So right here, what we're gonna do is this one is going to be if the enemy gets outside of -20F, so -20 on the X position for it, it's gonna destroy itself. That way you don't have a whole bunch of bats just flying off in the middle of nowhere, bogging down your game. Alright, so next we're gonna get to the functions. Let's go ahead and start with this start swoop function. So alright, then in this next line we're going to tell it that the target is the player's Y minus the swoop height, but keeps the same X to make the U shape that we want for our attack. We have that, and then the next part we're going to do is we're going to tell it that the swoop target is going to be equal to the player midpoint variable that we just created. Alright, so that's going to be the start swoop. You don't like that for some reason. We'll come back to that in a minute. Oh, because I put equals instead of minus. There we go. That'll fix that. Alright, next thing we're going to do is the stop movement. Or not stop, the swoop movement, sorry. And apparently the dog's going crazy, so it sounds like she was just let out. Alright, in this next line our next set of lines, we're gonna basically create that U shape using a parabolic path. Okay, it's gonna lerp down to the bottom, then back to the original height. So that's gonna be we'll call it in the swoop path creation. Alright. So what we need to do is go float T swoop timer divided by swoop duration. Right, so a little bit of math and a little bit of spelling because I spelled float wrong. There we go. If T is less than 0.5 F, because we're using a float, then multiply T times 2. We're going to say else if T is less than 1, oh, I forgot, else if, there we go. And they let the dog back in, so it might get a little bit noisy. So in case you're wondering, I do keep clicking off. I have my code from when I tested this out to make sure it was gonna work, right here. And so I wanted to make sure that I want to make sure that I have the math right as I'm telling you guys this. So I wanted to copy the code so I didn't have any errors this time around, because I knew that this one was already going to be kind of a lengthy video. I mean, we've been typing code for almost 10 minutes now, so we're going to set is swooping equal to false. Alright, so now that that's done, we need to check it to make sure it's going to work. So we can save that, let it compile. Alright, we see that it is working. So now let's get to the rest of it. Alright, next thing we need to do is we're going to go ahead and add a trigger so that it damages the player. So let's go back to our code. At the bottom of all this, we're going to say private void on trigger enter 2D. And we're going to change collision to other as we do. we're gonna say if other dot compare tag is the player, whoops, then I'm gonna say we're gonna go and take our player control, player equals other dot get component and if the player does not equal null, then we're gonna say player dot take damage, and we're gonna pass transform dot position. All right, for the hit point. All right, so all right, now that we got all that, what this is going to end up doing is we're removing the player enemy left by default, right? So up here by default in the update, he's moving left. Then when the player gets close enough, right, we're going to, so this is checking the radius. If it does, then we're going to start the swoop. When we come down here, we set the timer for the swoop and we start making things happen, right? We're telling it what the Y is going to be, or to change the target. So changing the bat's Y to match the player's Y for the swoop height, and then keeping the X the same for the bat so that it makes the U shape, that parabola, right? And then here is the actual movement where it's defined, right? We start the timer, we tell it to float is going to be the timer divided by the swoop duration, so T for time, right? So if the timer is less than 0.5 F, then we're going to be, or not timer, so T for the variable T is less than 0.5 F, then we're going to go downward, and then else if it's less than 1, then we're going to go back up. Okay, and so that's what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to set the swoop to false. And this one is just our simple damage that takes into account the player controller that we have on the player. Now let's go ahead and test that out. Let's move our bat somewhere over here, something like that. That way it's off screen. Spikes still work. There's the bat, and maybe, oh, there it is. The bat was just too high. All right, so he did swoop down. Let's go ahead and adjust that now. Oh, because my detection radius is only 5. So if I put it something like, say, 8, right, and move this back up here, then it should work. Yep, there it is. Boom. And there's the, oh, it hit me twice and 3 times. All right. So maybe in the next, oh, that's a nice little glitch. All right. Maybe in one of these videos we'll change it so that the player only gets hits once and has, because that invincibility did not last very long. So maybe we just need to increase that a bit on our end. Did we do it? Oh, we didn't do it in invincibility. We just did a little flash and a knockback, didn't we? All right. So maybe we'll do that in one of these videos. Add a little bit of invincibility. That way when he's hit, it's not. Oh no, we did add it. It's right there. Oh, we only made it for like 1 second or half a second. We'll go 1.5 in the future, and that should prevent the double hits. All right. In the next video, we're gonna go ahead and work on the enemy. So again, comment snake, dragon, or lizard, which one that you want me to do battle with at the end. Now that we've added this flying enemy that detects player and swoops towards them, and this mechanic teaches movement patterns, it taught us player detection and a basic AI state switching. It's perfect for adding a little bit of danger and excitement to open air areas in your platformer. Like I said, next one will be the boss, If you have anything in particular that you want me to do, go for it. And add, I might be making a collection of little bonus videos in the end. Just a little bit of a selfish plug here, okay? I do have, let's see, what is it? Too many requests. What? Hold on a second. Just a little selfish plug at the end, right? I did participate recently with Maxim Illustrate in the Pompous Trash Jam 2025, and we made a little 2-level game here. It's called Baron von Gunk's Filthy Finery. It's very rough art in it, but it's meant to be very trashy and rough and not fully polished, right? So if you like older games like Boogerman and Mega Man, then I invite you to go ahead and check that out on my itch page, adaptedlabs.itch.io/Baron von Gunk's Filthy Finery, with each of those words has a hyphen in between. So, let's see. As we get ready to wrap up, what do you want the next tutorial to be? I'll probably be posting a poll here pretty soon. I know I'm in the process of working on a 3D JRPG in Godot, so if you wanted me to do something similar here, then I will. Also started working on some Udemy courses. I'll probably be posting this on there at some point. So if you like what I'm doing, feel free and show me some love on Udemy as well. But at the very least, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Every subscription and the like lets me know that you guys are liking what I'm doing, and I think that's enough rambling, but it keeps me motivated to keep going. All right, keep learning, keep building. I'll see you in the next video.